Hello friends, today we will study a very important topic and also very easy to understand. We will study in this video what is if-else statements in Python. If-else is used in all kinds of programming languages including Python. Without if-else statement, any language whether Java or Python is incomplete. I will discuss the need of if-else. Number 1. Whenever you write a program, it is always executed from top to bottom. But sometimes a program has two options. Either it could go towards option 1 or option 2. This situation is called branching. There is the creation of branches in our program. To handle this, we use if and else. Let's take an example. We are building a login website. When a user enters a login site, there are only two possibilities. First possibility is he has entered the credentials correctly. In that case, we will show him the user's profile page. Now, the second possibility is if he has not entered the credentials correctly. In that case, we will show him error page. Depending on the input, you will have more than one page. This is called branching. Whenever there is branching in the program, we come across if-else statements. To show this, we are going to write a very simple login program. The user will provide his email and password. Depending on the input, we will tell welcome or we will say incorrect email or password. So let's jump into the code. If the user writes the right email and password, then it is correct combination, otherwise incorrect. Now let's say email. I'm just typing it here. Email is equal to, let's take any hypothetical email. Let's say johndoe@gmail.com. So let me just check the code. It should be full stop. So johndoe@gmail.com. So this is the email ID, and if the user provides any other input, it will be considered incorrect. Let's take password as 1234. Anything other than this is to be considered as wrong. So let me write it once again. Password is equal to 1234. Since email is a string, so it is in under quotes, whereas password it is simply 1234. We will ask email from the user and the password too from the user. So we'll take input from the user. Now you must have heard about the input function in Python, which we'll use right now. If you have any queries regarding the input function, please refer to my previous videos. We will do comparison, and based on comparison we will have two options. We will write code for both. Let us show the code, and for this our first step will be we'll ask email from the user and we will use the input. So let me show you. Let's take input from the user. So we'll store it in a variable called email. So you can see I'm creating a variable called email and I'm storing the value. I'm using the input function. You can see I'm using the input function and I'm asking the user to please enter the email only and nothing else. So the moment user will see this, he will enter the email only. And similarly we can ask the password also. Let me store it in the variable password and I'm saying input enter password. So you can see I've taken input in email as well as password. Now we'll store it in the respective variables. Now these are the two possibilities, which is whether he said is correct or whether he said is incorrect. To handle branching, we use if-else statements. We will discuss how to write if-else in Python. Now let me show you how to write if-else in Python. Now you can see we will write, say, if condition, like if, then we'll type what is the condition. So I say if, then condition, then I'll put a colon. Now I will put a colon, and then from here I will write the code. Again I will come back, I will write else, and then again I will use a colon, and you can see a little bit of indentation. I will discuss about that too. Again I will write the code. So this is the syntax of writing the if-else statement in Python. Now we will check if the user gave the right username and password. Both should be correct. So we will use logical AND operator. Because we want both email and password should be correct, we cannot use OR because it will cause disaster. Just think about it. If someone types a correct email and wrong password, he will have full access to the website. So we get clarity of using AND in this case. Now let me type the code. Let me write it. Using that same syntax, I'm giving the condition if email is equal to, since it's a string, I will put it in quotes. I will write John Doe @gmail.com. If email is equal to John Doe @gmail.com, and I'm using the logical operator and password is equal to, let password is equal to 1 2 3 4. So you can see I've written like that. Now there is the indentation concept, which I will discuss. We write code by shifting one space. This is called indentation. Python has this beautiful concept called indentation, which we'll discuss in our forthcoming videos. So please stay tuned. Python always ensures we write well indented code. So in Python there is no brackets or semicolons like C, but there is indentation. Through indentation, Python understands which piece of code is located where. When we press enter after the colon, Python automatically performs the indentation to make the code attractive and readable. The place where the cursor is blinking, we write code from there. So let's start with the code. Now what I have written is if email is equal to johndoe@gmail.com and password is equal to 1234, then I will use the indentation. So after, when I put colon and I press enter, you can see there is an indentation. So we need to write code right from where the cursor is blinking. So what I will write print, I will say welcome. Now you can see that if the user puts this email and password, the code will give the output as welcome. So the person will have access to the site. So let's see what happens. So we have finished writing our first code. Now we will write else as well as, and let's check. So here you can see that I have to accept input from the user. So let's consider that he has put the correct user ID and password. So let me show you. I press the play button. you can see since I've used input function, it is asking me input. Let's say I put John Doe. You can see I'm writing @gmail.com. You can say I've written John Doe at the right of gmail.com. Now it is also asking me the password. I put the right password 1234. So you can see the input has been provided. Now if I will run this code, which is the if else statement, so I am writing it code. Let me just check once again. There's some issue. I have the equal to operator. I have to correctly mention the equal to operator. So you can see the code ran correctly now. So we will now use the concept of else also. Now we'll now finish writing the first code. Now we'll write else. Always ensure that if and else are located virtually downwards. Now I've written is that if email is equal to johndoe@gmail.com and password is equal to 1234, print welcome. Else, now else I have to put just below the if. I am using else. Again I will put a colon, and after the colon when I press enter key there's an indentation. What I will say is print, I will say not correct. You can see not correct. So now you got the idea. So now let me play this if else code. I am just writing here not correct. So it is showing that the use of if else statement in Python. So let's say I have used the correct email and password, then it will give me the access. So that brings the end to this video. We'll now switch over to our next video. Stay tuned and happy learning. Please don't forget to press the bell icon for further notification. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.